নমস্কার, ওয়েলকাম টু বেঙ্গল স্টাডি গ্রুপ। আজ আমরা আলোচনা করব উইলিয়াম ওয়ার্ডসওয়ার্থের লুসি পোয়েমসের একটা কবিতা, যেটার নাম হলো এ স্লাম্বার ডিড মাই স্পিরিট সিল। এই কবিতাটা লুসি পোয়েমসের 5টা কবিতার মধ্যে একটা কবিতা, যেটা মাত্র 8 লাইনের। এই কবিতার রাইম স্কিম হলো এবি এবি সিডি সিডি। ওকে, এবার কবিতাটা আমরা পড়ব। A slumber did my spirit still. I had no human fears. She seemed a thing that could not feel the touch of earthly years. First of all, in this poem, the poet got disillusioned. Earlier, the poet had an illusionment that death couldn't touch the beauty of his beloved Lucy. But later on, he was proven wrong. Why? Because Lucy was dead. That's why this poem, on the other hand, is an acceptance of the very truth, death. A slumber did my spirit still. Slumber means sleep, and spirit means soul, the mind. Earlier, the poet here expresses that earlier my mind was sealed or covered by sleep, and I was unaware of the earthly rules. Why? Because earlier the poet believed that her death cannot touch his beloved Lucy. I had no human fears. This is very natural confession, because when a person is unaware of the death, he has no fear at all. So the poet had taken the life for granted. To the poet, the life was immortal. And in the very next line, the poet says that she seemed a thing that could not feel the touch of earthly years. She means her Lucy, the poet's beloved. She seemed a thing that could not feel the touch of earthly years. That means, to the poet, her Lucy was a person whom the earthly years, means the touch of her death, cannot taste. And he had thought that Lucy was immortal. Lucy cannot die. And this was the very illusionment of the poet. So in the very first line, the poet has a confession to the reader that he has earlier an illusionment about Lucy, about the conception of death. And in the very next stanza, the poet gets disillusioned. The very illusionment has been shattered, and no motion has she now, no force, she neither hears nor sees. This is the sound of a pathetic, a broken heart. This sound refers to the broken heart of William Wordsworth, or the poet lover. No motion has she now, because Lucy is dead now, so she has no motion, no force. She has no power to force herself to be alive again. She neither hears nor sees. A dead person cannot hear, and nor can the person sees. In this case, Lucy also cannot hear, cannot see. The poet's mourning is very evident in these two lines. The poet is disillusioned completely, and he accepts that Lucy is completely overtaken by the very truth, a death. That's why she has no emotion now, she has no force now, and neither she can hears nor sees. And what can Lucy been transformed after her death? Rolled round in earth's a diurnal course with rocks and stones and trees. A diurnal or her diurnal, her course means her daily course of her life. The earth's a rotation in the solar system. The her solar system is here referred to as a diurnal course, and Lucy is assimilated, mingled with this heavenly system or earthly system, and that's why he is rolling and rolling with the diurnal course, and to which Lucy is being mingled with rocks. Here rocks, stones refer to the gravestones, and on the other hand, she is now is the a part of the world. That's why the poet here suggests both the gravestone and the earthly possession. That's why the poet here expresses that Lucy is not alive, and he is a part of the very earth. He is now assimilated in the earth, and Lucy Lucy has no emotion now. So a slumber did my her spirit still. In this poem, the poet lover William Wordsworth gets disillusioned completely, and his very dream or very wish has been shattered by the very truth, death. Okay, that's all for today, and next day I will come with another poem. Enjoy this poem and try to solve the other questions from the poem.